Welcome to our 165th episode, day 2 in a row. Actually, day 3 in a row for me, since I was on the Dane and Rex extravaganza. So I'm going to see how many days in a row I can do this. I'm Joe Caprino. I have a special guest here. It is not Mike Reiser. It is the girls' rankings coordinator. You have that on your resume, right?
Yep, I got that on my resume.
Brandon Razo. He's coming from the a location that cannot be named. Might be in Adams County, but we're not gonna name it. Internet is awesome there, as you can tell by the grainy photo, and he's in the witness protection program, I believe, or was.
I feel like it. This room feels like a prison right now. No, I'm just kidding.
No. So Brandon's been doing the girls' rankings for 3-4 years. How long have we been doing them?
I think 4 years now.
Okay. So you got them all hammered out. They're perfect now, right?
As close to perfect as I can get with, the results that I get in. That's been the hardest thing is, pretty much a lot of these rankings, just a lot of it comes off of all the girl invitationals on track. I have some coaches and parents and stuff that if they do have something in the middle of the week, because some programs have, been trying to have some dual meets and stuff like that, they'll send me stuff. But, with the way some of these drawings came out for semi-state, there's going to be a lot of ranked girls not going, and there's going to be some girls unranked that make it to state. And there's also going to be a lot of girls that, maybe they did deserve to be ranked, but I didn't have any info on them. I didn't have a record. I didn't have any results. So, the stuff you're seeing are some of the girls that I've been watching, now for a couple of years that have been through the tournament a couple of times, or they're girls that are getting wins over other girls that we know of. So it's been a lot of fluctuation, especially with weight classes. You could have a girl last week wrestling a weight, and then for the tournament, I think it was like 2 weight classes lower. So that's kind of been the struggle with trying to do these rankings for girls. But with it growing, it's a lot better. Like last year and especially the year before, like I couldn't. It was hard for me to find 10 girls to rank in a weight class. Now I got 16 per weight class ranked, and to be honest, if I wanted to, I could probably go to about 20.
Yeah, there's some. I can notice a lot of weight classes are a little bit deeper, and you have some people on the watch list, which that helps tremendously to be able to fill those in case someone moves up or down. I know that helps Mike tremendously.
And there's especially with this last couple set of rankings, there's been girls that have been in there pretty much all season, and now they're not ranked, but I still think they might be just as good as some of those girls down in the bottom of the rankings, but that girl ended up getting a win over them, so they dropped out.
Yeah. What pretty much all the tournaments were on track this year. Was that correct?
Yeah, pretty much all of them were. Yeah.
Oh, that probably makes your life a little bit easier. The only bad thing is a lot of them were block weight. The weights were blocked, so sometimes 2 girls that might be ranked never really hit because they're in different pools. But being on track probably helps a lot with weights and stuff like that.
Yes, yeah. So that's the nice thing. I'm pretty sure they probably do with the boys, but like the girls' tournaments, like every tournament, there was a weight. Like when you go to look at them in track, it had what they weighed. So I was able, even if it was in a block, I was still able to be like, okay, well, she's actually at 120 and not 125.
Yeah, well, that's good. Yeah, and then they changed the weight classes on you. Are those the national weight classes? Those are the ones that we're using right now?
I have no clue right now. with the weight changes. Although I think it's kind of helped with the girls doing these 5 pound increments because we were, when we were going with the boys' weights, I mean, you were having within just a couple about 4 weight classes, like could have so many girls, and then the ones right below or above, like there wasn't much. And now with the weight classes that they did this year, it's spread out a lot of the good competition, and it's allowed more girls to get noticed. I mean, because when it comes down to it, that's what these rankings are for. It's to let these girls be noticed of what they're doing. And right now, with the sport growing all across the U.S. and I mean even still growing in college, I mean there's money there for girls.
Yeah.
For school.
Yeah.
So I mean this is a great way, and I mean, and it's just like with the boys. If you see yourself that you're ranked, it's like a confidence boost. The girls are going to want to keep doing it and keep working harder and getting better. So I mean, especially since we started doing these rankings, I mean, I've had more and more people paying attention to them and sending me stuff and asking me questions about girls wrestling in Indiana.
That's good, yeah. And we, like what you said about the girls, there's a lot of money in it. Great way to get college paid for, partially or fully. With I know especially some of probably the upper weights, they're probably having trouble filling those, just because it's harder to find them. But it's one of those things that I know it's something that you can really, if you're looking to go to college and finances might be a problem, that's a good way to do it. And we got a couple programs here in Indiana. There's a lot in Ohio. They're popping up everywhere. So you got to do a little bit of research in finding those. But I'm sure if you talk to the right people, they will point you in directions that there's a lot of good programs across the country, and especially in the Midwest. So that's one thing that when we had a couple girls wrestling, I was like, this is a good way to, if you want to go to college, this will pay for your college real quickly. And they're gonna need, they're always gonna want numbers, and just for mainly Title IX type stuff. I think it's a good thing that they can go to college and wrestle. But I did look; these are the NFHS weight classes, so we are on the official NFHS weight classes. I didn't realize they were so drastically different. After using the boys' weights for so long, I was a little bit surprised by these. So had to do some programming on the back end of the website to make sure that we get the right weight classes. So it's been so last year there was was it 600 or 700 girls that were at the regionals?
I thought it was like 800.
Okay, was it 800? Okay. So and then we just hit over 2,000, over 1,000. So that's a 20%, or 25% jump in participation. So that's it. That's huge. I think the regionals went pretty well. They might have been a little bit short, but at the same time we got we're right there where it could be. We're at a good number where those regionals are going to start filling out pretty quickly, and we won't have these buys at semi-state and stuff next year, hopefully, as it's sanctioned, most likely, hopefully.
I hope so. And I know there was some frustration with, the format this year. And by the way, I had nothing to do with brackets and stuff this year, like I have in the past. Because the past couple of years I did the seeding for all 4 regionals. But this year, the coaches finally stepped up and did it themselves. But it was, we had to add a third level this year.
Yeah.
The regionals, the 4 regionals last year, just got too big, and there was no way to do it correctly with how many matches you can have in a day and how many girls were in these weight classes. And so I know, and so a lot of people are thinking, man, 16 regionals, but it's going to give it a chance to grow and fill that out. I mean, with the 16 regionals this year, yeah, not all the weight classes at the semi-states are going to be full, but for the most part they are. And the girls that are there, that they have that better chance of being at semi-state and having a chance to make it to state than if we would have had, a 125A, a 125B at a regional, and you having to basically be top two of the A or B to advance out. So this just gives you a little more chance, gets the wrestlers spread out a little more, have an actual ticket round.
Yeah.
And this year, I'm kind of excited. There's going to be a lot of good matches in the ticket round with some highly ranked girls going at it, because just like in boys, someone just did something the week before and lost a match, and now they're in a spot. So I mean, it's right there along with the boys, with they having that up and down for coaches and wrestlers in a semi-state environment.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. And I know it's like I said, I believe last night when Mike and I were talking about it, the first couple of years, when they had the 14 weight classes, it was kind of, some of the ones on the top end mainly were kind of scarce, and I was like, why? I asked, I believe it was Jake O'Neill. It might have been somebody else, but he's just the name that I'm fairly certain I talked a little bit. He's like, why aren't we going to like 10 weight classes, 8 weight classes? That way they can fill out. And he's like, kind of the thought process from the coaches and from like Robert Falcons was, if you start big, it'll keep expanding and fill those weight classes. And now we got 14 weight classes, and they're all pretty well filled up at a semi-state level, so that's always good. You got 16 per semi-state. That is 224 times 4, so that's a little over 800 girls. So so Jake Hockaday pimping his teammate. So he doesn't get in on the other Gorilla radios, but he's gonna pimp his teammate. So yeah, another Brownsburg good wrestler. So anything else we want to talk about before we kind of dive into some of the brackets? Any other thoughts and stuff? I know it's been the first couple years of doing the rankings. It's always very difficult of keeping track, and now things are getting a little bit easier to follow. A little bit, people are sending information. The names still. We still have a few misspelled names, so if there's a misspelled name, send us a message, send me a message, and I will get it fixed as soon as I can.
It's most likely because of your coach. So.
Yes, because we pull all the stuff from track, and it's like I've been trying my best. If there's a grade, I guarantee there are hundreds of grades that are wrong, because I'll get Brandon will send me a list of the ranked girls, and I'll have to add about 25 girls. And the hardest part is, like, with boys, if I don't know their grade, I can Google their name and their school, and usually they play football or soccer or whatever, and I'll get like a max preps or something, and I'll be able to say, hey, this is a freshman, sophomore, whatever. The girls, they're not quite all in that kind of system, so it's kind of hard to figure out all their grades. So if grades are misspellings, please tell me. We want everything to be as close to perfect as possible. So that's if you see someone else, someone that's not even your kid, and hey, I think their name's spelled differently, tell us, because I don't want to. I mean, everyone wants their name spelled right. I know I like my name spelled right, so keep that in mind. Draw it in. So we will. Let's go over. I guess Rochester's my first one that I have up on my list. I'm going to switch. Let's see. Is it the bracket one? Yes. Okay. There we go. This should be 100. Uh-oh. Just got a notification. We're going to have some more semi-state rankings. Howie didn't want to be upended by a lot of rankings. You got yours out today. Oops, I got to put your camera here. There we go. Are you there? Yeah, maybe. Let's see. Hold on a second. I gotta get. Brandon is not on the camera right now. Maybe. Why am I not? There he is. Okay, there he is. Okay, had to bring you back. So, I saw you up in my corner. I have like the thing up the corner. I'm like, oh, geez, I don't see it. So, let's see. I guess the Rochester semi-state, which is technically a Fort Wayne semi-state. I wonder, like, one of the, I guess the biggest questions I have is, are we going to? I wonder how the alignment will be for girls. Come in, will it be similar to the boys, or will they do it a little bit different? Like, right? I guess I assume you probably weren't in on the discussions, but last year they got everything lined up based on semi-state, and then Rochester and got host for everything, and then so Rochester is hosting the semi-state, and then they got moved for Fort Wayne, and then they got moved to East Chicago. So
yeah. So I'm not sure what they'll be, next year doing with the girls, the alignment, because what they've been trying to do is kind of match it up with the same route as the boys.
Yeah.
So I think all this was already planned out before the realignment came out from the IHSAA and moved Rochester over to the other semi-state and out of Fort Wayne.
Yeah.
So next year it could be different, and it, maybe Rochester, their girls team is heading to the other one, and then we have a new host for what would be like the Fort Wayne semi-state.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see who hosts. It takes a lot of work to do it, especially because it's on a Friday and during the day, school day, and I believe do you know what time are they starting? Like at 10-ish, all of them.
I think they're starting at like 11.
11. Okay, so they're starting at about 11. I know that's going to be interesting to see how that works with school days going on, and stuff like that. I know at least some schools are in. I know Carroll is not, but that's the only one I know about right now. But I know it sounded like Rochester was there. So.
But that's how it's been the past few years with the regionals being on Fridays. We would go to Maconaquah for our regional, and they had school going on.
Okay.
So it's it's nice that the schools are working around it and still being able to host while school's going on.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. That's a big one. And then Kokomo next week for state. That is Friday. Is that starting like at 9, I assume?
I don't know. I'm not totally sure on the time, but I'll tell you what, that is a great venue for the girls' state tournament right now.
Yeah. The pictures in there.
I'm really happy that it went back up there.
Yeah.
Because the couple years they hosted it, they did it right. The way the stands are set up, it created a really good environment for the girls.
That's a real cool gym too. So that's pretty neat to be able to have a good facility like that for them. And I guess last year's state was pretty packed, and I don't know if it was just because it's grown so much or just not enough facilities. So. I guess Steven does not like the Wi-Fi. It's Kokomo. Come on, they barely have running water, I believe. Even Decatur has running water. Let's just put it that. So we'll go over. I guess what brackets you want to go from top to bottom here at Rochester, or do you want to pick out some that?
We can kind of go top to bottom. We can start there at 100, and what you see right off the bat is your first big ticket round matchup with Angelina Clay of Lakeland and Katie Rolls of Jay County. I got Clay ranked 6th right now, and Rules ranked 7th.
Ooh.
So I mean, right off the bat, you're having a pretty big ticket round, a match up in Rochester. So I mean, like I said, you're going to kind of see that throughout, especially the Rochester semi-state has quite a bit of ranked matchups. Same with Muncie Central too. Just a lot of, it's just how they fall, and it's just the same like with the boys. Like you have your regionals that are weaker. You have your regionals that from the boys' side that you want to draw into at semi-state.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be like that with the girls too. You're gonna have your weaker regionals. You're gonna have your stronger regionals, and same with the semi-states. And right now the way it's been is, from Indy to the northern part, there's just been a lot more wrestlers. But I think it's just some of the schools really got into it a lot quicker and got tournaments going and stuff like that. But the southern part of the state, it's starting to come along now and starting to get more wrestlers and more schools involved. So
yeah, just looking at the record, you can tell there's not a favorite is a good separation of the better wrestlers, and I know those are those all of their I mean, how accurate are those records? Fairly accurate, or
most of them are pretty accurate.
Okay.
I know I was going through a little bit ago and I saw a girl's record and it only had her has 2 losses, but then I was looking at our spreadsheet for the rankings and I had for with 3 quality losses.
Yeah.
So I don't know how that happens, but it did. But most of these are accurate, and I think for the most part, I think a lot of them are. So I'm not sure if they made it if a girl was wrestling both boys and girls, taking that record, or if they were just going by records against girls alone.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. So,
but a lot of these are accurate. I mean, you do have now girls that can get about 30 matches in the season.
Yeah, so the Jay County girl, she has 30. Clay has 24, and DeWitt, they're looking at around 20 to 25 matches for some of them, and that's awesome. That's a that makes it a lot easier to get girls out when you're getting that many matches. I know early on it was, well, you had to wrestle boys, or there weren't enough tournaments close by to justify taking 2 or 3 girls. Now you can, and it's a lot easier to get those matches, and that's good for the coaches and those people that are hosting the events that's what's helping tremendously. So anything else at 100 or?
Not much. I think your top one there at 100 is the Honecker from East Noble. She pretty much wrestled 105 most of the season and had her scratch weight early and wrestled up and then dropped down to 100 for the tournament. So she's a solid one, probably the favorite there for the semi-state.
Okay, 105.
And she also, I believe she also has a win over Clay.
Yeah, she would have beat her. She would have beaten her at.
They had a 4-2 match.
Okay.
Earlier in the year. So
105.
105. We have a couple possible ranked ticket round matches. You have number 5 McGuire from Western against number 7 Rascalvo from Goshen. And she just actually got put into the rankings. I had her earlier in the year, but then I wasn't, it was one of those things I wasn't seeing her in any girl stuff, but I knew she wrestled some boy stuff. So I really wasn't sure where she was falling in until last week for regionals, and she got a pretty good win at regionals over Nevaeh McHugh of Prairie Heights, who's had a pretty decent year so far. So that kind of got her up there into the top 10. And then another match I'm kind of looking at is that possible ticket round is number 8 McHugh from Prairie Heights against that freshman Keffer, ranked number 16. It's a girl I don't know much about, but she has a solid record, and Daleville has been known to produce some solid wrestlers. So I'm looking forward to seeing that match right there.
Yeah. So we'll go on 110. So there's still some buys in here, and they were filling those in correct as far as with girls that were 5th and 6th place finishers.
Yeah. So I mean, you had some regionals that may not have had 4 girls in the weight class.
Mm-hmm.
So they tried to, fill it with girls from other regionals if there was a 5th place or a 6th place girl.
Yeah.
And, some were upset. To me, I can see the pros and the cons of it. I mean, looking at some of these draws, and you're having some girls get brought in, that could have a chance, even though they got 5th or 6th at going to state.
Yeah.
But they still got to win the matches at the semi-state level. So, they got a second chance, but if they prove it and they win some matches, good for them.
Yep. Yeah, that's a like you said, good and bad. It's a weird thing with not having full brackets and stuff, but we don't have full brackets at regionals sometimes, and sometimes at semi-state. So
right.
So with the boys end, so 110.
But so 110. I mean, you got Giuliano Campo there. She's gonna run away with it.
She's pretty good.
Yeah. Other than that, there's really not any big ticket round matches. If anything, you could probably say Lily Quinn of North Miami and Madison Waltz of Carroll. Quinn's had a pretty good season. I have her ranked 12th. Waltz was in the rankings earlier in the year. She had a couple nice wins, but she's kind of fallen out because there hasn't been any significant wins since, and she's had some losses. So that could be a decent match right there in the ticket round.
Yeah, Campos, she's pretty good from what I've gathered.
Yeah, she's good, and right now, you saw the new the power pool for the girls. New Haven. They don't have a full team, but the girls they got are good. They got both Ocampo sisters, Bodie at 45, Bussard at 55. And then they got a couple other girls, one at 140, 170 that could, should make it to state and have a possibility of placing.
Yeah.
So New Haven right now is sitting pretty good. If their girls do what they're capable of, they should be able to run away with it.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's you don't have the 3 powerhouses like you do in the boys' side right now, but you have a lot. It's the cool thing since I started doing that is there's been a lot of different teams at that top, and that's pretty neat to see that and it's all based on the rankings and point values. There's no nothing other than just running with it, and Brandon probably doesn't even look at it. You might look at that every so often, but it's like one of those things that it's not you're not manipulating the rankings to make those teams better. So 115, right. We have a full bracket here.
Full bracket. One big match. you'll have a good ticket round match with Emma Jones, undefeated from Cowan. I have her ranked 7th right now, and she'll probably be going up against Welch from Carroll. I believe Welch was she a state placer last year?
I believe she was a state
or just a qualifier.
I think she was like a regional champion, if I'm not mistaken. I should pull up those other brackets.
So Welch, yeah, she was a qualifier last year. Emma Jones took sixth place last year at 132, and now she's down to 115 this year. You know but that's something we've seen the past couple of years with girls wrestling, and I think that's one thing that's great is there's a lot of these girls that they're finding something they like and they're bettering their health.
Yeah.
And, you know, especially when you get up to that, you know, now it's at 235. That first year it was 285. I talked them to drop it down to 250, and now we got it down to 235. And these girls are still, you know, getting to that 235. And, you know, it's great to see these girls are participating in this sport and, you know, benefiting from it health-wise too.
Yeah, that's huge. I know we've had some texts back and forth. I'm like, is this the same girl? I've heard listed at like 180 from last year, and now she's wrestling 140. I know there's one a couple years ago that I was like, I'm not sure if this is the same one, but same school, pretty close to similar name, and I'm like, did she lose like 40 pounds? This doesn't. But yeah, that's awesome to see, and you know, you don't usually see that in the boys' side, so it's very surprising to see them. You know, she was up at 132, placed 6th, and now she's 115, and that's good. That's great. You know, obviously having a great season down there and wrestling well. So, any other matches to look for?
No, not really. I mean, that top quarter bracket. I mean, Withrow is probably the favorite to come out of that, but I think you could probably take all 4 of those girls and flip a coin, and whoever comes out on Friday is going to come out of that top one. Mm-hmm. You know, all 4 of them are pretty solid girls. Mm-hmm. So, and then you have the other Ocampo sister there at 115. She, in my eyes, she should have her way with that weight class also at 115. Yeah. Okay. At 120, not really there's really no ranked matchups there. You do have number 5 ranked Naima Ghaffar from Northwood. She should walk through that semi-state, and she's had a really good year.
Yeah.
So far, a lot of wins over some good girls. So I mean, she's one of them. If she has a good day at state, you know, she could make a run at a title. So.
Yeah, she was a semi-state qualifier in the boys division last year. So.
Yeah.
We'll go on to 125.
125, we got a couple ranked matchups. You got Michaela Robush of Kokomo, ranked number 12 right now, and she'll have a possibility of facing Natalie Spadell from East Noble, ranked number 9. But Spadell, you know, doesn't have an easy one that first match with the North Miami girl, that Walforth. I mean, 19-13 record. Not ranked at the moment, but she has had some decent wins this year. So that could be a good first round matchup right there. And then you go down to the bottom. You have Nevaeh Wilson of Angola, and Ella France of Northfield. Wilson's ranked 4th, France 15. I'd say Wilson's probably the heavy favorite right there to come out of that quarter.
Okay, 130. Freshman, top freshman with 26 wins.
Yeah, 130. Not really many big matchups in the ticket round, but you have Aubrey Troutner from Huntington North, a freshman, 26-1, has a lot of good wins over a lot of good girls this year. And then on the other side, you have a returning state champ, Ella Gall of Northfield, 23-0. She's good.
Yeah.
Ella Gall's good. So that I'm not sure. I don't think these two have wrestled this year. Trying to see who. Oh no, they have. Ella Troutner's one loss is to Ella Gall by pin. So, but if that's the only one you're getting beat by so far as a freshman, that's a pretty good season.
Yeah, and I'm sure. I mean, depending on when it was, they could definitely be getting. Obviously she's going to keep getting better and better, and freshman versus a senior, that'll be interesting to see. 135.
135. Yeah, so that'll have a good ticket round match with Michaela Philippi of Tri-Central and Katie Vardaman of Homestead. Vardaman, it shows her record 1-1. I know that's not her record because she's had more than 2 matches this year. But she comes in ranked number 4. Even though she did get beat last week by Alexis Spalding, I didn't take the ranking away and drop her. I still feel like she's still one of those top ones in that weight class. So it's kind of a bad draw for Philippi to get Vardaman there. But that's what happens with regional. Someone gets a win, and it can set the whole semi-state into a blur with draws, and that's one of them right there.
Yeah. Andy said she's 13-4, so he finally updated it. You can update track now. Yeah, Oberlin kid. So yeah, it should be some. Yeah, it looks like a lot of girls with a lot of matches, and obviously Jay County won. Do you know who won the? I assume Jay County won their regional. Do you know who won the other ones?
Let's see. Jay County won. I believe Rochester won the Western one. I think East Noble won the Goshen one. And what was the other region?
Columbia City, I believe.
Columbia City. Not sure who won that one.
I'll look it up here real quick. So we'll go on to 140.
140, we have one ranked matchup in the ticket round, possible in the ticket round with April Lagner from New Haven and Naomi Leffers from Central Noble. If you go through the West that weight class, a couple of girls that stand out is Kaima Bell from East Noble, regional champ, 13-1. I believe her one loss is to Leffers. I think they've traded wins and losses with each other this year. And then that bottom one, Lindsay Dill of Northfield, 17-4. She's been having a pretty good season so far as well.
Yeah. So Columbia City won. I checked that and got confirmation. Columbia City won their regional. So 145.
145. Not really not really a lot of big matchups. I think the favorites are pretty much probably going to win out in this one. Um, Felice Moulinex, probably your favorite there on the top, even though she wasn't a regional champ. She's been out most of the year with an injury, but she has had success in the past. Let's see here. 45. Yeah, she was a state qualifier last year. So I see that probably happening again. Your top one right there is probably Olivia Bodie from New Haven, 27-2. Her two losses are at 155 to Grace Rams and Reagan Trineri. So, those are two really good, solid losses. And she's had a couple good years. Olivia Bodie placed sixth a couple of years ago and fourth place last year. So she's one of them that could definitely have a chance at a state title this year at 145.
Right. I'm noticing some teams can enter multiple girls into a weight class. How many can they enter how many could they enter in regional? Was it up to 28?
I believe they could only enter two, and you had to pick who was your scoring one.
Yeah. So could someone technically have 28 at their regional then, or was there a limit of number of girls total?
Yeah, I think if they would all get through, they would all.
Yeah. Okay.
Still move on. So.
So I'm sure, that's good that, a lot more girls are getting to wrestle at their regional, and I know some of the bigger teams probably benefited greatly from that. So 155, I see some pretty good names in here. This should probably be one of the better weight classes from what I can tell.
Yeah. So from top to bottom, 155 is probably the toughest weight class in the state. If you look from who's ranked number one all the way down to who's ranked 16th, and some girls that aren't even ranked. So like this semi-state, the Rochester semi-state, you have 6 girls that are ranked in the top 12, and 4 of the girls at this semi-state are ranked in the top 5.
Oh wow!
And they've been trading some wins and losses with each other. Your big ticket round match is going to have Mallory Winter of Jake County, undefeated, ranked number 1, returning state champion, returning 2-time state champion. She's going to be facing now number 7, Paloma Scholl. Paloma is a 2-time state placer. Thought she was going to be going 145, but decided to stay up at 155 for the tournament. A couple other girls, you have number 2, Reagan Trineri, who took her first loss last week at regional to Kaylee Bussard of New Haven, who's 24-2. So that almost set up, a death draw of number 1 and number 2 in the state, but luckily that didn't happen. They stayed spread out, and you're looking at probably your semifinal, Trineri against Harams from Rochester, and Bussard versus Winter. That's one heck of a semifinal, right there with those 4 girls.
Yeah, and those are all pretty. Rochester has they have a pretty good girls program. New Haven's pretty strong, so is Jake County. So you got 3 of the 4, probably I'd say powerhouses in the Fort Wayne semi-state, the ones that have really taken the girls wrestling to a different level, and they're that's kind of like just it's like saying you're gonna have a semifinal with Crown Point, Center Grove, and Brownsburg in it. So they're gonna be battle tested and pretty good. So
yeah, so that weight class, and you even have like the Clowers Myers girl. She's dropped down a little bit, but she took 3rd place last year at state.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, that's that's how stacked 155 is this year.
Yeah, and that's all
just
through the state too, and
a lot of good girls throughout the state.
Nice. So 170.
170. A couple state ranked matchups possible in the quarterfinal. You got Paisley Chambers of Westdell, possibly taking on Alexis Gates. Chambers ranked number 8 right now. Gates 14. You also have Allison Smith in North Miami, ranked number 10 against Sophia Gropp of Westdell. And here's a spot that you see it also. Westdell, they have 2 girls here at semi-state, both of them ranked, and both freshmen.
Oh wow!
So a couple girls right there that look forward to over the next year. Hopefully they can find different weight classes so they don't have to compete against each other.
190. Starting to get a little thin in the weight classes as we go up, and which is
starting to get a little thinner. I'd say your main ticket round match is going to be with number 4 Clifford against number 14 Cardwell. Cardwell was ranked higher, but she has taken a few losses down the stretch, especially last week at regional, losing to Chloe Lynn at Western. So that kind of dropped her down in the rankings, but that could be a solid event. She was a state qualifier from the year before, but Clifford's having a great year. She had a really good off season. I see Clifford still the favorite right there at 190. And then to top it off at 285 or 235.
235.
235. You'll have a possible ranked battle with Brielle Humphreys, number 3, against Kara Park of Fort Wayne Northside, who's ranked 14th. Park, she's a returning qualifier. Humphreys has taken 4th the last 2 years at state. So other than that, that's you got Vivian Park down in the bottom, who is pretty solid, ranked 5th right now in the state. So that could be a nice matchup in the finals with Vivian Park of Columbia City and Brielle Humphreys of Kokomo.
Are they related to each other?
I don't know.
I know there used to be there's some parks that went to was it North? No, it was Elmhurst that were pretty good wrestlers. So
yeah,
and I know one Vivian is related to one of them. So we'll keep it in the north. We'll go to Penn, which this one. So this is Penn, which is East Chicago semi-state, former Penn semi-state. Yep. So you'll see Wawasee in here, and a couple other teams. So I guess we'll go over 100 and see how that goes. They're cousins. Okay. So some family
right, so,
lineage right there.
So starting out at 100, right there in the first round, you're going to have a ranked matchup with Grace Pinkleton and Lexi Baumgardner. Baumgardner ranked 12, Pinkleton 16, and the winner of that gets the chance to wrestle number 2 Cortez of Lake Central. Cortez has been one of the top lightweights over the past few years. She took 4th in 2022, and she was state runner-up last year. So she's definitely the favorite there at 100 at the Penn semi-state. You also have Sydney Stoller, ranked number 10, taking on Britton Whitmer of Glenn, ranked number 15. So some good matches there coming at 100 pounds. Next weight class, 105. Joanna Cantu of Hobart, ranked number 4, with a possibility of wrestling Arsmendi of Attica, who is ranked number 13. And then you also have a possible matchup of Lily Anderson from Mishawaka Marion, ranked 12, against Lorana Dillon of Benton Central, ranked 10th. And I know she has more than 3 matches this year, so.
Jeez. More Andy Oberlins are out there. So, yeah, it looks it's a pretty good bracket. Number 110, I guess not number 110.
Yeah, so 110, not really any ranked matchups. They're all pretty spread out. Reese Kasparzik of Lake Central is having one heck of a year with 1 loss. A lot of big wins coming out of her. There you have Joy Cantu from Maryville, who, she has a lot of success in the boys' side. So she does really well with the girls. She's taken 3rd and 4th place the past 2 years. Those are probably your top 2 out of that semi-state.
Yeah, it's interesting seeing some names like Kasperzik. I would venture to guess her brother is one of the Lake Central starters. That's pretty good. So it's interesting just seeing some what look like younger or older sisters at times of wrestlers that are pretty good, and that's pretty cool to see.
Yeah, you kind of notice if you go through and you see the names and you see the school, and you're like, okay, all right, probably most likely a younger sibling of somebody.
Yeah.
115, really no big matchups. One of the big things last week from the regional, you had Isabel Kaplan from West Lafayette knocking off Aaliyah McLean from McCutcheon, and in her first loss, and she was ranked number 1 at the time. So looking forward to that rematch in the finals.
Okay. And 120. These seem to be a little bit more full weight classes. Maybe just we're going faster.
Yeah. 120. There'll be a couple ranked matchups. Not really close rankings, but they are ranked. Right there at the top, you got number 1, Piola Villery-Ruel. Sorry if I'm messing up some of these names. Of Griffith, possibly taking on Delaney Kobik of Rensselaer Central, who's ranked 13 now. She just got moved into the rankings. I guess the next quarter, Rodriguez. She's ranked. What do I have for? She's ranked 10th, and we'll have a possibility of wrestling Katie Snyder, who was ranked at one point in this season, and Tatiana Williams, who just got a win last week, I believe, over Amara Brenton from Lafayette Jet. So that could possibly be a good ticket round there. As you go on down in the bottom, you have Kylie Benoit from Hanover Central, ranked number 4, and she'll draw Amara Brenton right off the bat, ranked number 15 now. Amara Brenton had some pretty good wins at the beginning of the year, with one of them being over Kiara Churchill of Hamilton Southeastern. So that could be that's a solid 4 seed, 1 seed matchup right there. Although I still give it to Hanover Central
Yeah.
The winner of that match will get a Lambs of Hobart. So the 120 is pretty competitive up there at Penn.
Yeah. Yeah. So they, I assume Penn won theirs. I'll look and see who the other ones were that won, but that's a. It looks like there's a couple other areas. Who are the better teams, kind of in the Penn semi-state?
It's kind of wide open. I think Penn will probably win the semi-state. They just they got some girls that are going to score a lot of points.
Mm-hmm.
They may not have as many qualify this year as they have in the past, but they still got some big hitters that'll place high at state. But that they also, the way I've seen it, I mean, they're going to have some tough ticket round matches, Penn, team-wise here at semi-state. That if they lose one or two of those matches, it could definitely knock them out of the team race for state. So there's a lot of big matches team-wise for Penn. To try and win at semi-state on Friday.
Yeah, it looks like Lafayette Jeff won over Tri-County at Winnemac. Hobart won their regional. Penn won theirs. And then Ileana Christian won theirs. So, pretty much, a lot of them are staying home, the trophies.
Yeah. And then down at the bottom, you have... Angel Smith of Plymouth, undefeated freshman, got her ranked 14th, really because I don't know much about her. She'll be probably picking up Kylie Spencer from Rensselaer Central, who I have ranked 6th right now. But that could be one of those where that freshman's probably a lot better than I'm giving them credit for. So that's a match I'm looking forward to seeing the outcome of.
Yeah.
There at 125.
130?
130. Got a couple ranking battles. You got number 7, Yoder of Warsaw, possibly facing Perez Ahudel. From Lafayette Jeff, ranked 14. And then you'll have not a ticket round match, but a 4 versus 1 with Maddie Osborne of Frontier, ranked number 13 against Lily Colbreth from Kankakee Valley, ranked number 8 right now. So a good little first round matchup right there at 130. And this might be a spot too where Penn could possibly get their first state qualifier of the day. They're at 130 down the bottom. The Bella Spone, unranked, but got a pretty good draw. So
that definitely looks like she's in a good spot there. See this in the boys. You want to be in a good spot if you're not ranked, and she got put in a pretty good spot. Looks like 135.
Yeah, 135. So last week while I was at Mishawaka, I saw one of the championship match coming up with Solis of Penn and Smith of Mishawaka. So I made my way back down there to that gym to catch that match, and that right there was a battle of number 2 and number 3 ranked girls in the state. Smith was taking it to her. Smith was winning, and then Haley Celeste ended up getting her. Went optional start, popped out front, ducked under the arm, dumped her once. Smith fought off her back, and then she did it again and pinned her. So that created what we probably have one of the tougher draws for this semi-state at 135. You're going to have Amelia Westfall at Crown Point, ranked 8th, taking on Kaylee Smith of Mishawaka, ranked number 3. To me, that's just a lot of bad luck for Westfall, who's been having a pretty good season. That's one of them draws that it stinks.
Yeah.
But but that's our sport. So
yeah, that's Indiana for you.
Yeah, and that and that's when there's been some people like, well, why didn't girls do wrestlebacks? One of the things that's been the thing of trying to get this sport sanctioned is proving that we can run a state tournament. So yeah, we're still doing a lot, even though there's all the stuff we gripe about with the boys tournament. We're still doing it with the girls tournament, because when it comes to the IHSAA, they really don't want to see a different format. They want to see, we can do it how they want it. So that's why you're not having the wrestlebacks like everybody wants.
Yes.
So it's just one of those give and take things. In order for us to get what we want for the sport to get sanctioned, we're going to have to do things still their way.
Yeah.
And so, and then someone I'm looking forward to seeing some more results for down there at the bottom is that Honesty Lacey from Maryville. Maryville, even when you see their boys teams, everyone they put out looks like the most athletic kid in the world.
Yes.
and great wrestlers, and Maryville's starting to do that with some of their girls, putting out some pretty good girl wrestlers. So I'm excited. I haven't got to see her wrestle, but I'm looking forward to seeing what that girl does, continues to do with this state tournament.
Yeah. So 140.
140. Just one ranked matchup. It'll be Mariana Castro, ranked number 14, and she gets, she's a regional champ, 16-2, and gets the draw of Charisma Lawrence from Maryville, 12-1, ranked number 3. Lawrence just took her first loss to Passaic from Highland, who is a very accomplished wrestler.
Yeah.
So
Passaic, I believe. Is Passaic? She's like nationally ranked, isn't she?
I believe I think she was at one point, if she still isn't.
Yeah.
But she's had a lot of success growing up, and still continues to do it.
Yeah. So 145.
145. Kind of a wide open weight with your ticket round matches. You got number 1 ranked Ellie Janofsky of Lake Central. She's good. She's been really good the last 4 years. I don't see anyone in the semi-state touching her. I really don't see her having a match until state where, she may run into like Bodie or something like that, or Kuntz of North Montgomery. So 145's pretty open. I mean, you got a couple girls in there that are ranked or have been ranked, but there really won't be much action in the ticket round. I mean, there'll probably be good matches, but there's really nothing of anyone ranked.
155.
I think it's kind of the same at 155. No really big matchups. One match I am looking forward to seeing what happens with is in that bottom quarter bracket. You have a number 15 ranked McKinley Platts, possibly taking on Madison Raper of Penn. The Penn girl has been just right there on the cusp. She's been on my watch list, and I've basically been waiting for her to get, a good significant win. Hopefully, we'll see if she can prove that here in the ticket round and pick up a win and advance to state.
170.
170, not really much to go on here ticket round wise. Two of your top girls, you have Amani Reed of Penn, a freshman, 14-2. Naisha Gindelberger from South Bend Riley, 18-2, pretty solid. And then you have Azra Foley from Harrison West Lafayette, 19-4. So that kind of rounds out your 170-pound weight class. At 190, this is probably going to be another big one that Penn needs to get in the ticket round. You have number 12, Sifakui from Penn against number 13, Crabtree from Rensselaer Central. I think that's one of those I was talking about earlier that Penn's going to need to win if they want to make a run down at state. So that right there, that's a pretty good ticket round match there. And then probably for this semi-state, probably your biggest ticket round match will be at 235. You have returning state champ, ranked number 2 right now, Audrey Bartow. Bartowiak of Attica. Oh wait, no, she got second last year. My bad. So you have her ranked number 2, and she'll have a ticket rail match with Giselle Guerrero of Penn, who took 5th last year at state and ranked number 4 right now. So that right there, that's another one that Penn needs for the team race.
So Attica would have lost. She lost to Cobble of Harrison. Okay. Just wanted to double check it wasn't the 3-10. It's like I would guess that was not so. But yeah, that'd be a good match, and looks like this will be a good. Looking at the teams, and the team race, Harrison brings 10. Hobart brings 16, Ileana Christian 13, Lafayette Jeff 10, and then I believe Penn will have 17 there. So should be some good wrestling there, and obviously those first couple rounds are huge for team scoring.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll go to Muncie Central. We'll stay semi in the north. This is the Newcastle semi-state. Just I assume it sounds like it got moved from Newcastle. So this is an interesting one. Interesting bracket. Did someone not? Did one of them not have one person? So I assume somebody did not have any participants.
Where are you seeing that?
At 100, because the top is a bye. The top one's a bye. There's 2 top ones that are buys. That's weird. I don't know.
Yeah, so this. Yeah, so this is one of those, coming out of that part of the state. There wasn't a lot of 100-pound girls.
Yeah. But
so they only have one first round match. But you're going to have some solid ranked girls wrestling. Duena Zelaya, Benson, Delgado, Mo ranked number 1 at 100. She got second at the Ironman for the girls.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, she's your she's your clear favorite at 100 pounds. Um, but yeah, there's tick around wise, nothing big, but you'll have some ranked matchups there in the semifinal.
Yeah, it looks like a couple of the the regionals didn't have anybody in the at 100 pounds, so that makes sense now. I was like, whoa, that looks a little bit different. And as I kind of like Mike and I were talking, that it seems like girls have popped up in different areas and are really strong in different areas, and some areas haven't quite it hasn't quite caught on. And this is kind of in the Indy area right here. You can kind of tell some of the other regionals are a little bit stronger with just a lot more numbers with this.
Yep.
So go ahead, 105.
105. Just possibility of one ranked matchup where you'll have a number one Heather Crawl against possibly Jada Sordelay of Franklin Central. I have her ranked 14th right now. 105. It's Crawl's weight class, not just with semi-state, but even at state to lose, especially with Ocampo being up to 110 now.
Yeah.
So
that'll be kind of a bummer that they won't see each other again, because they've had some really good matches the past couple of years, but kind of I know Ocampo had a pretty good pull for 106 to make scratch, so I don't know if the extra pounds are going to come off. So 110, starting to get some full brackets now, and
yep,
some good matches, I'm sure.
So 110, pretty good weight class. If you start at the top quarter, you got Monica Alvarado, ranked 8th now. Actually, just jumped into the rankings. She had some good wins last weekend, and as I went back and kind of looked at her throughout the season, she's actually had a decent season too. She could possibly face that Eva Atkins from Franklin Central. I don't have her ranked. It was hard to try and figure out how to throw her in, even though she just got handed Kylie Smith Foster her first loss of the season. I saw it was a pin in like 30 seconds, so I was guessing it was probably like a headlock or something.
Yeah.
So it was like, do I really throw her up high into the rankings just for that win? I'd like to see what she does this weekend. So that could be probably a pretty good ticket round match. And that next one, the EJ Schultz from Hamilton Southeastern. She's not in the rankings. She was for most of the year. Now she ends up drawing Kylie Smith Foster 25-1 from Greenfield Central for that quarter. In the next one, you got Olivia Crawl. Where's it? Yeah, you have Olivia Crawl. She'll have a pretty solid 4 seed right there. Brooklyn Fuller, 24-6. So I'd say probably the winner of that probably comes out of that quarter. Although Josie Skinner, I think I had her ranked most of the year, and actually just took her out on this last ranking. So that she could pull something off there too in the quarters. And then at the bottom, you'll have a number 7 Claire May taking on most likely number 9 Jaden Hughes. So this is a pretty good weight class at this semi-state.
Yeah, definitely. 115.
115, you got Shayna Bass, ranked number 6 from Franklin Central. She'll possibly have either Grace Sharp, ranked number 16 right now, or this Jack Skinner, 10-3. Don't know much about her. So again, she could be a girl that should probably be ranked maybe, but I don't know. I haven't seen anything on her all year. Let's see. You got the next bracket, Katie Fair now, 20-4, pretty solid wrestler. After that, you're gonna have what's that? 115. Freshman that I just put into the ranking, or sophomore, Kayla Roll of Milan, 12-1. I put her in at number 12, and that was just, I saw her record, looked her up a little bit, and saw she's had some success in the past in ISWA. So she may be better than being 12th ranked, but she'll have a good battle against Anna McCarty of Beech Grove, 22-5, who's ranked number 8 right now. And then down at the bottom, Kiara Churchill for Hamilton Southeastern. She'll have the most likely probably Abby Boris Southport, who just dropped out of the rankings. So, 115, another pretty competitive class here in the semi-state.
Yeah, definitely. The Perry Meridian Regional was by far the biggest, and looked like they had some pretty strong wrestlers there. And you added in some, like the Carmel and Hamilton Southeastern and that regional stuff. They look like they have some pretty strong girls programs on the north side of Indy too. So that makes for a pretty strong regional, and you're gonna have some fun ticket round matches. So 120.
120. Possibly really only one ranked matchup in the ticket round with Phillips of Centerville, 14, and Crawford of Perry Meridian, 16. But you still got some good girls in there. Katie Dow is ranked. Jillian Donnelly just dropped out of the rankings. Jaleesa Reginald, she's ranked. Paige Stiers, she's ranked. 120 is another weight class that's going to be pretty good competitively on Friday.
Imagine that if Phillips at Centerville. That's
yeah. At 125. 125. This could possibly you have a 4-1 right here with Jenna Thompson ranked 5th in the state. Took 2 losses last week at regional. Claire Bowman, ranked number 11, gets to have Jenna Thompson right off the bat. And the winner of that will most likely face number 8, Amaya Miller, in the ticket round. So that's a pretty tough quarter bracket right there. And then rounding out this weight class, you have Kyla Johnson of Southport, who's definitely your favorite, right? Your favorite right there. And you have Sydney DeLois of New Pal, 18-2, who has been one of the top girls in the state the past few years. We're starting to see, we're starting to see with this semi-state, you have some weight classes that a lot of girls ranked girls pounded right in there. So going to be a lot of good wrestling.
Yeah. 130.
130. Just one possible ranked matchup in the ticket round. Kyra Tomlinson ranked number 2 against number 12 Jaden Madry of Beech Grove.
Thompson was a runner-up last year. Is that correct? I believe. See if you can test my knowledge of random girls.
No, the Madeline Thompson. No, she was.
Or no,
She wasn't even a qualifier.
No, Kyra Thompson from Noblesville.
Tomlinson, yeah, she's
Tomlinson.
went third, second.
Okay.
So yeah, she's definitely one of those, top girls in the state there at 130, ranked number 2 behind Ella Gull.
Okay. 135.
135. Couple ranked matchups. Possibility of Wagner Gilbert ranked 6th against Swanigan ranked 16th. Swanigan got a win over last week over Brooke Butler of Noblesville, who took 4th place last year at state. So that put her on my radar, but she's drawing a really good freshman out at New Pal, that Wagner Gilbert, 32-2 on the year. Then in the bottom half, you're going to have number 1 ranked freshman Maddie Marsh from Pendleton Heights, with the possibility of facing number 12 Holly Garrett of Beech Grove, a senior, 21-7. So, and then down there at the bottom, Shelby Looper, 25-4, Clinton Prairie. She has put together a really good junior season.
So 140.
140. All your good girls are spread out. Ari's Day of Clinton Prairie, ranked number 8. You got Dayana Myers of Franklin Central, ranked number 4. So a couple good girls in there, and pretty much some of these quarter brackets probably pretty much wide open. Any one of the 4 can come out of those quarters.
That'll make for a fun couple rounds in there. 145.
145. Right off the bat, first round matchup, you got Helen Wynn, ranked number 7 against Cassidy Higgins, ranked 14th. And the winner of that will take on either number 12 Journey Wells or number 16 Jada Harris.
Well, pretty loaded quarter bracket.
Yeah, so I mean, you're talking, that should be a fun quarter bracket to watch. Other than that, you got in that weight class, you got Ella Morris, ranked 5th, and Haley Kuntz, ranked 3rd. So that could be a good finals matchup if both of them get there.
Okay, so going 155. Jasmine Camacho.
155. There's not really any big ticket round matches. If anything, it'll probably be Jasmine Camacho of Greenfield Central, 23-6, ranked 8th, taking on Claire Bennett of Franklin Central, who I just dropped out of the rankings, but I believe she was a state qualifier last year.
Yeah.
And then something that you just may see, you could have a Warren Central versus a Warren Central ticket round match there at 155 with Bautista and Long.
Oh, that'd be fun. So I assume
Yeah,
Long was probably pulled back in, a callback, and
Yeah, I believe so.
You should at least put her on the other
Um,
one where she would have had Camacho. Or that's an interesting draw.
and then you also another top wrestler in this weight class. You got Kate McKee from Perry Meridian, ranked ninth right now, and yep.
So,
And then another one. Yep, number 14, Leah Suits, who took sixth last year at 195.
oh wow, down to
Yep. See,
155.
there was, yeah, there, but that she also could have been, because I believe last year it went like from 170 to 190.
Okay,
So she could have been someone that weighed like in the 70s,
yeah,
and just made a drop down to 55.
yeah. No,
So,
that's always. I'm sure at the beginning of the year you're trying to sort all those out, and you're like, "Are you really sure this person's going to be here?" And I guess when you have the
yeah.
matches and you see the weights, okay, we're good now. So adds to the complexity of everything.
So moving on to 170. At 170, you got number one ranked Evelyn Mosconi of Southport, 18-0. And then your big ticket round match, and probably the biggest one for the semi-state. You're going to have number 4 Clara Gramlin coming up against Ella Harpold, ranked number 5. So a 4 and 5 going at it. The ticket round there at 170. So yeah, that's probably your biggest ticket round match for this semi-state.
Yeah, I noticed even last year, and it's starting to kind of when you're mentioning some were state qualifiers, and you're gonna see girls that were placers and state qualifiers as the levels start increasing, that they're not going to even make it to state anymore. So that tells you that's a good thing for the
Right.
quality of wrestling here, that it keeps
Yeah,
getting
like
better and better.
and that's something I noticed just doing rankings. I've dropped girls that were state qualifiers or even a state placers. I mean, down low or even out of the rankings, because new girls are coming in and the sport's growing, and that's what we want to see. We want to see more wrestlers.
Yep.
Um,
So
and then
that's a good sign.
moving on to 190. Moving on to 190, another pretty good ticket round match. You're going to have number 3 Karma Collier of Hamilton Heights, 15-4, and her losses have been up at 235. She wrestled up most of the year, taking on Mercedes Telekia from Southport. Telekia wrestled 235 the whole season, drops down to 190, and trying to figure out who beat her last week. I think she may have
It would have been the
lost
Sworn Central girl.
Hollins Rowie.
Yeah, that would have been either that or
Or
Sharon.
no. She got beat, I think, in the semis by Liberty Reeves of Beech Grove.
We have. So she would have gotten. Liberty Reeves beat her
Yeah. So I mean that
3-2. So yeah, that's.
So that right there, that was a big loss for Telekia, ranked 7th. Now she has a pretty tough draw with Collier.
Mhm.
Telekia in 2021 was a state runner-up. Last year she took 6th, and now she's going against Collier, has only been a state qualifier back in 2012 or 2022, but I think she's probably battled a few things, and when it's gotten to the state tournament, she hasn't been in the state tournament. So I'm looking forward to hopefully her uh, finishing out her senior year and making a pretty good run. Um, be nice to see that for old Iron Bear.
So the last weight class, 285.
235.
235. Jeez, I messed up this time.
Um, no big matchups there. I think you're looking at your top girls probably being Saul of Hamilton Southeastern, Bradley of Perry Meridian, Durham of Southport, Allen of Greenfield Central. All four girls are ranked. They're all spread out. So probably no really big matchups there. But then again, I mean, it's one of those weight classes that an unranked girl can, take out a ranked girl pretty easy at 235.
Yeah.
So that's a wide open weight class for that semi-state.
So we'll move on to the last semi-state, Mooresville, which is the South, the dirty South, and as we've seen with the South is pretty well spread out, so it's harder for coaches and kids just to get matches on the boys' side, let alone girls' side. And I know even when they had two regionals and 4 regionals, the South stills. It's starting to pick up, but it's also one of those things that it's hard for them to get matches, and
yeah,
it's growing. It's just not at the rate when in the more populous areas of Indiana. I mean, who wants to live in the South? You have Triple B down there, so we got to throw in our token Triple B, cut on him a little bit. So we'll go 100, and any matches to watch or any girls that are kind of pretty good.
No big ranked matchups. You do have Aaliyah Brown from Center Grove, formerly Lowell.
So that'd be
ranked number
Don
3.
Brown's sister, Dominic Brown. So again, I'm still looking through some of these names like, imagine that. That's a common name, and imagine that at school. So.
So you got her. She's ranked number 3. You got Katie Epley of Mooresville, solid freshman, ranked number 11. And then you have Ava Lee Reynolds, 23-3 from Franklin Community. I did have her ranked, but she's taken some losses, and I really wasn't seeing some big significant wins, but she is a pretty good wrestler, and could have a good day. I don't really know much about that Alexis Daniel of Floyd Central, that they have her 6-0, a junior. So that right there, that could probably be a good ticket round match with Daniel and Reynolds.
Yeah. So 105. Hey, we got a full bracket. That's good.
Yeah, full bracket. Girls are spread out here. One of your top ones, you got Libby Dowdy of Indian Creek. Cadence Williams, ranked 15th. Looking who else? I think that's about it for that weight class.
Okay.
Those are probably two of your top favorites there.
110.
Yeah. That Libby Dowdy, she's ranked number 2 right now.
Okay, yeah, she's her. I know that this Dowdy family. Did they go to Franklin?
Yeah, she has an older sister at 120.
Okay, and then they have a pretty positive. It's a brother that's a 8th grader. That's pretty good. He was originally looking to be in the rankings, but I guess we didn't have the correct grade. So yeah.
trying to start him in high school before he's in high school?
Yes. We just promote them no matter what sometimes, and hope that they're eighth graders, or they were eighth graders last year. Sometimes it's a little bit difficult to find out what grades they exactly are in. So yeah, but yeah, I think that family's pretty good. Patrick Dowdy, that's the son, but I believe that's the dad's name also, who's pretty good. I'll say it might have been a runner-up for Franklin, off the top of my head. So 110.
Yeah, 110. Possible matchup of number 6, Anne-Marie Schuler of Seymour, against number 13, Gracie Smiley of Plainfield. There in the ticket round. A couple other girls to point out in this weight class. She got number 10 ranked Chloe Nadelsky of Mooresville, who's been the Mooresville team has definitely improved and has a pretty good team this year. With girls starting to get in the rankings and starting to get some big wins. They're doing a real good job there down in Mooresville. And then another girl, Kaylee Bowler of North Putnam, freshman, 10-2, ranked right now number 16, closing out there 110 with some of the top girls on my list.
Yeah,
and like I said, and especially with this semi-state, there might be some girls breaking through that I don't have ranked, and I apologize. But like I said, I can only go off of what I get information-wise.
Yeah, it looks like you said about Mooresville and Franklin duked it out. It was 162 to 141 for the team race there. So both brought in 14 and 12 girls respectively. Mooresville won the regional, so definitely going to be an interesting one. Both, obviously, you're bringing that many girls. That's a good sign for both programs. 115.
115. No ranked matchups. But you got Sasha Hicks, ranked 11th right now, 20-0. Peyton Nadelsky, 14-9. I don't have her ranked, but she just had a pretty good regional to qualify. You got Kylie Alltop, ranked number 13. Probably going to have a take-around match with Rebecca Snyder of Southridge, who just picked up a good win over Kylie Block Johnson last week at regional. Let's see. You got Angel Dykes, who just dropped out of the rankings. Taylor Engelke of Columbus East, who just dropped out. And then you got number 1 ranked now, Tola Aluko of Ben Davis. And Block Johnson, after that loss last week, now she draws Aluka. So 115. 115 will be a pretty good weight class down at Mooresville. A lot of good competition.
Yeah,
but Tola Aluko should pull away from that weight class.
Yeah, you got 3 undefeated girls there, so that'll be a good one. So 120,
and then 120. This is probably your biggest death draw for this semi-state. You had, after some of the girls made their moves, last week I had Phoebe Dowdy ranked number 1 at 120, and returning state runner-up Sophia Buchner of Terre Haute North got a win over her last week at regionals. So that, so someone was going to have to draw Dowdy this week, and it ends up being Ayla Stevenson from Franklin, 22-1. I have her ranked number 6 right now. I dropped Dowdy down to number 3, 11-1. So right there, that's going to be one heck of a ticket round match.
Oh yeah.
With those two girls. Let's see, where else you got? You got 20. You got Rachel Ramirez in there, ranked 11th. I mentioned Sophia Buchner, ranked number 2. And she was a state runner-up last year at 120. Her losses, she has a loss to Stevenson 4-1, and a loss to Aluko 3-1 in overtime. So this should be some pretty good battles here at 120.
125.
125. Nothing big really standing out. You do have. Let me see here. Yeah, you got a Scarlett Skirvin coming in as a 4 seed. I got her ranked 10th right now. So they're right there is someone that most likely could be a 4/1 and a 4 going on to state. Other than that, I'm not really much standing out in that weight class.
Okay, so 130. We've got a couple buys in here. Random buys in here. It's always kind of surprising, but it's good to see so many full brackets, and obviously after this week they'll be all full. So,
no big matchups right off the bat, but you have Madison Whitted from Mooresville, ranked number 5. She was a state placer last year. You got Aubrey Cummings from Jeffersonville, ranked number 10. She was a state qualifier. Hannah Seitzinger, ranked number 3 from Indian Creek, undefeated on the year. And then you have Aurora Roberts from Greencastle, who was it last week or week before? Picked up a good win. I can't remember who it was over though. But that rounds out your 130. I believe that Seitzinger, I think she signed with Indiana Tech this year to compete there next year.
Okay, so 135.
135. No big matchups. You got Cian Rogers, ranked number 5 from Jeffersonville. She is a returning 2-time state qualifier. She's having a real good year. I see her. She should win this semi-state, and she should make a good run next week at state.
Yeah. So no one else.
And then you got Nevaeh Holtgren from Mooresville. 1 loss on the year for freshman, ranked 15th. She may be better than that. I really haven't got to see her. Just been seeing results. So
So we'll go to 140.
140. Have a ranked matchup. Kaylee Beauchamp of Jeffersonville, ranked number 9 against Kyra Childs of Mooresville, ranked number 15th right now. You got Lane Mullins in there, ranked number 5. You got Ava Allen, ranked number 2, returning state champ. She was at 152 last year. And then you have Kaylee Miles, ranked number 6. She was a state runner-up last year. So there'll be a couple good battles here at 140.
That should be a good make for some good semis and finals for sure. 145. Let's see the names. There's some names I'm starting to recognize more and more from the rankings and from all sorts of things, but yeah.
Pretty wide open weight class, except Jaslyn Diaz-Avalos from Franklin community. She's probably your top one there at 145 in that semi-state, ranked number 4, undefeated on the year. You got Alejandra Hernandez. Right now, she just entered the rankings into number 10. I mean, she's 17-11, but she's had a pretty good year so far. So then, that rounds out 145 with ranked wrestlers.
155.
155. Two ranked in this one. Actually, a few ranked in this one, but one ticket round. You'll have a number 3, Maylee Skinner, going against number 10, Lydia Mobile, in the ticket round there.
Man, those Skinners can't get good ticket round matches. The Skinner family is cursed.
Yeah. She got hers last year. She placed 4th last year as a freshman.
Yeah.
So, and then to round it out, you got Lily Bridges from Franklin, ranked 11th, 22-6. And then Kaylee Medley, ranked 13th from Terre Haute North. She was a state placer last year. And Josie Haas, ranked 6th. Some other good wrestlers there at 155.
So 3 weight classes to go.
170.
Got some. The bottom half of the bracket's loaded.
Yeah. So Layla Thomas, ranked number 2. She's the top one here. You have Alex Brown in Northview, ranked 11th. She was the one that was, I think, pretty much at like 190 most of the year and just dropped down to 170 for the tournament. So she's a returning state placer at 170. She took 6th last year.
Okay, 190. Hey, we got a full bracket there. That's pretty impressive.
Full bracket. You got a number 1 ranked Hannah West. She has won state. She is looking to be a 4-timer. She took 1st in the last 3 years at 160, 170, 182. She'll be going for her 4th title this year. So that's awesome. So you have her number 1. You have number 2, Jaya O'Neill of Brownsburg. They are on opposite sides of the bracket, so that could be a finals right there. You'll have Monica McMahon, ranked number 8th, and Sadie Osborne, ranked number 6 in the ticket round. And let's see who else you got. You got Trista Powers, ranked number 5 right now at 190. And who else? And then you got also just dropped out all the rankings down there. Brianna Lapierre of Franklin. So, for the 190, this is a pretty good semi-state
Yeah.
for that weight class.
Yeah.
Very competitive. But like I said, Hannah West, she's been above. She's on another level than any other girls in her weight class, and it's been like that every year with her. She always has a dominating performance at state.
So 235, big, the highest weight class. We didn't mess this one up this time. Took 4 times.
You'll have one battle there in the ticket round. You got number 6 Portia Weaver of Monrovia, and number 9 Cameron Cheeseman of Terre Haute North. But you also got Erica Dehart, ranked 10th from Edgewood, and you got number 1 ranked Varsity Bachelor from Northview, and then number 16 ranked Cammie Ritchie of Mount Vernon. So some ranked girls to round out these bigger weights down in Mooresville for their semi-state. So yeah, there's your rundown of the action on Friday.
Yeah. So it looks like Franklin, Jeffersonville, Jennings County, Mooresville, Mount Vernon, Posey all have over a 10 there, so they're probably in the mix. Anyone else I think I'd say maybe I know Indian Creek has some good girls there. I just don't know if they have the horsepower to be able to beat those ones with more than they have 3 really good girls.
But if you put 3 girls in the finals, I mean that's a lot of points.
Yeah.
If you do that.
Yeah, and they're probably going to be there's still a lot of bonus points being scored there, so that should be interesting. And obviously the other, bringing in 10 or 11 to the regionals or semi-state is not always going to guarantee you're getting all those girls out too. So let's see. Let me go back to this. So I guess we can probably do this next week after semi-state to talk about what's the big matchups for state. What are you looking for this week as far as the rankings? And I know you've been updating them mainly because they're just so fluid right now with not a whole lot of hard results, but it's getting better. And I guess what are you looking for this week? And who are you keeping your eyes on?
Not real sure.
Strong picks.
Really keeping my eyes on. I'm just looking forward to seeing what happens with a lot of these ranked matchups in the ticket round. It's nice to see. The past few years, it was you could look at something and be like, this girl's advancing, this girl's advancing, but we're at a point now that it can be wide open. Mm-hmm. And besides for some of the weight classes where there's a huge spread, like if you're ranked within the top 5, if you're gonna pin or tech fall anyone ranked 10 below.
Yeah.
That's some of the spread right now with girls wrestling, but you have weight classes that a number 16 is could beat a number 2. So I just want to see how stuff pans out, and when it comes down to it, some of these girls that I don't know about, I want to see what they do. I want to keep this sport growing in Indiana. I want to keep learning who these girls are around the state, and I just want them to succeed. I love the fact that girls wrestling has evolved and that girls are competing against girls.
Yeah.
And being on a level base, and they're enjoying it. I mean, I think you were on with Dane and Rex the other night, and Rex covered a girls' regional on the radio, and he was interviewing girls, and some of these girls, they're at a point that the only thing they're doing now is wrestling all year round. They quit doing some of the other sports because they're enjoying wrestling, and they've said, okay, I'm going to dedicate my time to the sport.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to start seeing that more and more, and we're already in a good spot. And it kind of sucks that we're not sanctioned we've had Sarah Hildebrandt, Kayla Miracle, and that are Olympians, and some other really good girls come out of this state and compete. And the fact that we're not sanctioned, it stinks.
Yeah.
And so hopefully it changes quickly, and we keep it growing, and we're good on the national scene, even with some of our high school girls, Kendall Moe, Rose Kaplan, just two right off the top of my head, Heather Crawl, Juliana Ocampo. I mean, we got some really good talent in this state, and it needs to be seen, and people need to hear about it.
Yeah, I know whenever the girls' rankings come out, there's one, I don't know when the recent one is, but I know that there's always a lot of girls that are ranked from Indiana that are in those. Let's pull up the one. That's the pound for pound one. Like Heather Crawl, she got a world bronze medalist. Rhiann Murphy, she's at Wyoming Seminary, but from Indiana. Heather Crawl, Ocampo, Mackenzie Smith of Heritage.
Mackenzie Smith.
Yeah, of Heritage Hills. Kendall Moe.
And there's some really good girls that, like McKenna Smith, who was in the girls' tournament.
Yeah.
And like Lillian Gerald from Rochester, who was in the tournament. And,
okay.
I pulled their names out of the rankings because I was wanting the rankings to be for the girls, competing in the state tournament. I know I got some questions for some girls that, were pretty high in the rankings all year, and then they were gone. And it's like, well, they're not wrestling in the girls' tournament. So
yeah, well, some of them like Mackenzie Smith, I'm sure she's wrestling varsity for her team, and they're going to team state. Right before that's a some of the ones that are doing double duty is that's pretty impressive. I can't imagine. I know, I believe the Ocampos, they were at North Montgomery, then they had to come up for back home. I think they didn't wrestle the second day, so that they come back home and stuff. Pulling double duty, that's something that that's pretty impressive, especially right now.
Same with Kendall Moe at Hamilton Heights. She'll be at the girls semi-state, and then she'll be at team state the next day for Hamilton Heights. So she'll be going from Muncie to Jay County, so that's not too bad of a jaunt there, but it's a light night. No,
actually, probably shouldn't be too late this time. Starting at like they said, starting at 11, and shouldn't be too late. But at the same time, you're wrestling all day. You got to make weight, and you got to keep stay focused and get the job done there, and then go off to another event. So that's a lot of stuff to be doing and stuff. So let's see who else was ranked. I just had it up. Ava Strayer, she's a 8th grader. Kaplan's ranked 5th. I believe these are the last update. Amelia Murphy, she's at Wyoming Seminary also. Strayer, Maddie Marsh, Alexandra Bastazik, Vardizzi, Bachelor, Hannah West, and then I think that's all for Indiana. So yeah, that's good to see that the girls are getting recognition on the national scene, and I know the Indiana Tech's doing pretty well. Trine's got their program up and started. Manchester has a program, I believe. Will they start up next year? Or are they still doing one more year of?
Maybe next year.
I think they start up next year. I think they're recruiting now. So that's three. Are there? I don't think there are any other programs in Indiana. Are there? Am I missing?
I think Trine
Manchester and
has a girls program.
Yeah, and they're starting to.
But
get more girls.
There I'll tell you, Indiana Tech's good.
Yeah,
they have a really good women's wrestling program. They have a great coach. That's where both of my girls ended up going and competing for after they graduated Belmont. And I'm happy with the choice they made going to Indiana Tech and competing for Paul.
Yeah, he does.
He's doing a heck of a job, and he's bringing in. He's keeping some of our talent here in the state. So
yeah, and plus he's recruiting. There's like how many states? I know there's like 10, 15 states that he has represented, if not more. I saw they had a graphic earlier this year. Like we've had girls from this many states, and it's like, wow, that's pretty impressive to be able to recruit that many girls and from all over the country. And so they're doing a great job, and our programs are keep getting better, and hopefully that raises the standard, at Trine and Manchester. I know Manchester's just getting started, and I think they'll do pretty well. And that's always thing is they're all good schools, and like we said earlier, it's a good way to get some of your school paid for and get to wrestle and get some athletic accolades, and who knows what you do after that, but at the same time you can get a college for a pretty good price, and that helps out tremendously. You don't want to have all the loans and stuff. So I guess anything else you want to say before we cut this short? And I'll be back tomorrow with team state preview. So
no, I just if there's coaches out there or girls and they're thinking about wanting to go to the next level, but they don't know how to go about it, contact me. Send me a message on IndianaMat, and I can lead you towards some of those programs out there to try and get you connected with some coaches and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because I'm doing this because not only do I find this fun as a hobby, but like I said, I love the sport for boys and girls. I want to see people succeed, and if there's any way possible, I want to help you out to succeed.
Yeah.
So coaches, wrestlers, feel free to reach out to me, and I'll see what I can do, see what I can get a hold of, and see what I can put you in touch with. So
yeah. There's if you go to the message board, how to contact the rankers, his information's there, so send that there. As I said earlier, if there's grades that are wrong or misspellings of names, please send me a message, and I'll get it fixed. And definitely, we have mistakes when we get misspelled names, whether it's a lot of times it's the coaches that put it in there, but at the same time we want to get that stuff right, especially for the rankings. Not have a girl that graduated or still has two. We say that she graduated and she's only a sophomore and stuff, makes our rankings as good as possible. So any information you can send, good wins, off-season stuff, it's always good. So thank you for joining us, Brandon. Stay on for just a few minutes. And
thank you for having me.
We'll be back next week, and hopefully with some good wrestling for the state finals. So thank you guys for joining us. We'll be back tomorrow.